WBS 87 Atlanta, WAEN FM Atlanta, WBHH, and on iHeartRadio, the home of the Beat Break Morning Show with Sean Garvey, DJ Rollum, and the Wake Up Ladies. This is Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives. Streaming online at beatbreakradiofm.com. The views and opinions expressed on this program does not necessarily reflect those of Beat Break 87 FM, Reach One Communications, volunteers, staff, and management of Reach One Communications.
This portion of Beat Break Radio is only suitable for mature audiences and not suitable for young audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Mario, and I would like to welcome you back inside the Random Select Podcast. It's the podcast that's all about thought-provoking talk, and I am your host, Mario, right here on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives. Hope you guys are definitely enjoying your Tuesday afternoon. Hope you're not stuck in traffic or any of that stuff like that. We're going to get right into it. We got a lot to talk about on today's show. Let me give you guys a quick rundown. We're going to be talking about the Monique situation. And I know I spoke on it a little bit last week, but I don't know. The more she talk, I don't know. I'm kind of starting to believe her, guys. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And of course, we're going to definitely have to talk about Larry now. So we won't spend a lot of time on it, but we're going to definitely talk about him as well. We're going to talk about some of the things that Romney said about President Trump before he even became president, and now that he's president, some of the things that he said ring true. They hold true. I mean, we're just going to talk about a lot of different things. You know, we're going to talk about abortion, and I want to have Tiffany L. French on the show at some point. We're supposed to got together and did a interview this weekend, but you know, my schedule wasn't conducive with her schedule, and it just didn't come to fruition. But we definitely going to get in and make that happen at some point. She has some very strong opinions on abortion. She's pro-life, you know. So we'll definitely get into that. So we're gonna be all over the place today. I don't know where this particular journey is going to take us, but that's why it's called Random Select. We randomly select a topic and we just kind of roll with it. I kind of want to get the Trump thing out the way first, guys. Well, before I get into that, let me just tell you guys, if you like what you're hearing on the Random Select Podcast right here on Beat Break 87 FM, please share. If you want to catch the shows on demand, download the Beat Break mobile app, and you can do that. Go to the beatbreakradiofm.com, and you can click on the listen now, and you can catch us up there, or you could listen through us through the TuneIn app. You could catch us through the iHeartRadio app. Catch us on speaker. So there's no reason, guys, that you shouldn't be listening. There's no excuse that you say, oh, I can't find them. No, you can find us if you really want to, considering the fact we're right there in president and we're ready to go. So, like I said, I wanted to get the Trump stuff out the way first really quick. And I know you guys have heard me say this plenty of times before, and it's probably not going to be a shortage of me saying it again. This man is the president of the United States. So, to me, that deserves some respect. And I know a lot of people say, oh, Trump is not worth respect and he don't deserve our respect. But that may be true. But still, if we just throw everything out the window and just let lawlessness wins, then we're just one step above being savages. Okay. He is the president of the United States. And did he win fair and square? You know, that's debatable in a lot of circles. But he still is the president of the United States. But the one thing that I've said from the get-go, he's let you know what his intentions are. He's let you know where he stands on certain things. I don't understand why we're still so outraged about what's going on with him, you know? So with all that being said, Mitt Romney said some things about Trump during the presidential election that at the time people were saying, oh, he's just Trump bashing. Oh, he don't know what he's talking about. He just being a politician. But now, 1 year later, looking at President Trump year, and, you know, it rings true because Trump said he was going to run this country like he run his businesses. And people, looking back at Trump record, I went and did some research myself. You do not want that. You do not want him to run the country like he run his businesses and his companies. And in fact, if that's what he's doing, it's going to be a hard 3 additional years after this. So I'm just going to play what Mitt Romney said, and then we'll come back and talk about it. All right, guys, here it is.
Here's what I know. Donald Trump is a phony, a fraud. His promises are as worthless as a degree from Trump University. His bankruptcies have crushed small businesses and the men and women who work for them. He inherited his business. He didn't create it. And whatever happened to Trump Airlines? How about Trump University? And then there's Trump Magazine and Trump Vodka and Trump Steaks and Trump Mortgage. A business genius he is not. Now, I'm far from the first to conclude that Donald Trump lacks the temperament to be president. After all, this is an individual who mocked a disabled reporter, who attributed a reporter's questions to her menstrual cycle, who mocked a brilliant rival who happened to be a woman due to her appearance, who bragged about his marital affairs, and who laces his public speeches with vulgarity. Donald Trump says he admires Vladimir Putin. At the same time, he's called George W. Bush a liar. That is a twisted example of evil trumping good. Think of Donald Trump's personal qualities: the bullying, the greed, the showing off, the misogyny, the absurd third-grade theatrics. You know, we've long referred to him as the Donald. He's the only person in the entire country to whom we have added an article before his name, and it wasn't because he had attributes we admired. Now imagine your children and your grandchildren acting the way he does. Would you welcome that? He's playing the members of the American public for suckers. He gets a free ride to the White House, and all we get is a lousy hat. His domestic policies would lead to recession. His foreign policies would make America and the world less safe. He has neither the temperament nor the judgment to be president, and his personal qualities would mean that America would cease to be a shining city on a hill.
All right, guys, we won't stay on this long. I just wanted to play that and bring that back as a reminder to show you that some people were making some accusations and calling Trump out for what he is way back when. And it just goes to show you that this holds true. And, you know, he still got to be president. And I'm not knocking that. And sometimes, you know, we take for granted that regardless of if it is somebody that we don't agree with in the White House, it's still a very difficult job to do, a very difficult job to be great at, you know, and you got to applaud the men and the women that actually want to do this job, because I couldn't imagine every time something goes wrong in a country this big with this many people, everybody turns and look at you and say, what now? What do we do? But I just think that he can handle things a lot better than he's doing. You know, it's not my job to criticize the president, because anybody can sit back and criticize the president. But until you get in those shoes and understand what's really at stake, it's hard to make that, you know, hard to make those assumptions and make those decisions. But this man can handle things a bit more tactfully. Do we understand where he's staying? Yes. He said he wanted to run the country like he run his businesses. Do we really want that? Because think about all the things that you remember coming up that Trump associates his name to, that all failed, that all, went into defunct. That was all void of any type of success whatsoever. And as Mitt Romney said, he inherited his business. So that doesn't mean you got good business sense because you went to this college and went to that college. A structure and a system and a blueprint was already in place for you to be successful and for you to do these things. So that doesn't make you a genius at business or whatnot. It just makes it where you were able to just kind of come in and guide the ship, and all the original ideas and all the things that you wanted to do, they failed. So let's just keep that in mind going forward. You got 3 years to try to, just deal with this, guys. I mean, it's going to be some hard times coming around here. I could see that on the horizon, and I don't mean financially, and that could possibly be true too, but I'm talking about as far as us people and race relations and things of that nature. All the work that everybody was putting in trying to make this thing where we all could get along, and let's put racism on the back burner and be one as Americans. Seems like Trump and his agenda and his people and the people that he sympathized with are trying to take all that work and throw it out the window. So that's all I really want to say about that. We're going to transition from that and talk about something else. What I wanted to talk to you guys about was I want to play a little something, a little clip that Monique was talking. And when I first heard Monique talk and I thought all the stuff was going on with her, I said, wow, Monique is difficult to work with. She's getting that reputation of just hard to be in work with and being a diva and just can't get things done. But the more I listen to her, the more I understand that when people say play ball, because I've been in a situation like that too. When I was younger, I was in line to be a manager at a high-rise condominium, for well-off people. And they, and I did everything I was supposed to do. And they told me that the reason you didn't get the position because you don't know how to play ball yet. And I was 25 at the time, and I'm like, I don't understand what that means, play ball, because I wouldn't do what this one particular person wanted me to do. I didn't want to circumvent the rules. I didn't want to let people have privileges that they shouldn't have, all because they were her friends. And they told me I didn't want to play ball. That's why I didn't get the position. This was told to me right to my face because I didn't know how to be patient and play ball and play my part and handle my position. So the more and more she talked, I thought that, I don't know, I'm starting to believe her, guys. So check this out.
So when Lee Daniels said you got to play the game, see, that has a lot of meanings to it. Playing the game means if I should bend you over and rape you, you know not to talk because I can ruin your career. If I should put my penis in your mouth, you know not to talk because I can ruin your career. If I want you to be a slave and work for free, you know not to talk because I can ruin your career. And here's where it ties in together. See, people are saying, why are you including Oprah? Because Oprah Winfrey called me and she tried to convince me to come work for free. And because I didn't give Oprah Winfrey what she wanted, she sat back quietly and silently and watched another black woman be thrown under the bus over what she agreed with me and my husband was wrong. The same thing with Lee Daniels. He agreed that it was wrong. So this is all tied together. So when Netflix come in with this low offer, see, the buzz is she's difficult, she's demanding, and she's black.
Now, to be totally honest with you, when I heard this, I just said Monique is being difficult because it always seems like no matter what she do, where she go, there's a problem, right? Without me knowing her, judging her, that's just what it seems like on the surface, right? That's how everybody else seems to perceive it, right? But the more and more I listen to her talk, the more and more I think about how this could be a situation where a person who knows their self-worth, just not willing to deal with anything that's below them or unbecoming of them. And I still have some issues with her when she claims that she's the one of the most decorated comedians, in our lifetime. I said, I don't know about that, and then, the problem I got too is when the Williams come out and say, nobody remembers you, nobody is feeling you, nobody believes, what's going on. So, but if they offer her $500,000 and come back and offer Wanda Sykes $250,000, then doesn't that kind of say that she has a point that she's trying to make? Now, also, when she comes to tell you that a guy who is openly heterosexual and things of that nature, right? And not trying to say that heterosexual people are prone to do whatever, are predisposed to do whatever. But what I'm saying is that with him being that way, I mean, well, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say what I feel. He predisposed. I think that as a heterosexual person, to a black heterosexual person in Hollywood, he might be willing to play the game however it goes. He might be willing to go down on another man. He might be willing to take it balls deep, in his rear end to play the game. When he said you got to learn how to play the game, which means he's probably been playing the game. And that lady don't want to do that, because I know if I was a man in Hollywood, I don't care how much money you give me or how much money people put on the table. You being a man and your self-esteem and what you believe of yourself is more than anything somebody could offer you. People say, well, nobody won't know. But here's the kicker to that. You know who would know? Me, the one person that matters, because everybody else on the outside looking in don't matter. I'm the one got to live with myself. I'm the one got to look my wife or my girl or my kids in the eye, knowing that I just did some stuff that will compromise who I am and the things I'm trying to teach them and the things I'm trying to tell them. So I believe her when a guy like Lee Daniels come to you and say, let's play ball. I believe that he's comfortable with what let's play ball mean, because let's play ball can mean so many different things. You got to learn to play the game. You got to learn to play hardball with people. I'm not sleeping with no other men to play hardball. I'm not doing any drugs to play hardball just because I want to roll, just because I got money. Hell, my mama took care of me off of making 25 grand a year, 17 grand a year, and 25 was on the high end. That's if she got bonuses and made quotas. So if my mama can do it and didn't have to compromise who she was, I bet damn if I will. So I'm trying to tell y'all, I believe her, because let's face it, when you live a certain lifestyle, and I don't know what Lee Daniels' stories is. I don't know what he went through to get to where he at, but I'm pretty sure it probably wasn't an easy road. I'm pretty sure it was more difficult than a little bit just to get to where he was in the position where he's calling the shot on different shows and stuff. And somewhere along the way, somebody must have told him, you got to play ball. And he played ball and probably took some too. And that's just my personal opinion. Like it, don't like it, really don't care. I'm just telling you how I feel. This is the Random Select Podcast, and we talk about things like this every day. So I'm just telling you, because listen to that. Look at all the rumors we've heard over the years about Jada and Will Smith. Look at all the rumors we've heard about Dwayne Martin. Look at all the rumors we've heard about certain rappers. Look at all and I'm not saying that you should give any power to rumors. I'm not saying that rumors shouldn't become public, shouldn't become reality, because as they say, perception is the public's reality. How somebody perceives something tends to become reality no matter whether it's true or not. And I get that. That's just like somebody accusing somebody of raping. They didn't do it, but for the people that didn't get the memo, that's that rapist. You know what I'm saying? Even though he got acquitted or whatnot in some people's mind and in his community's lore, he's a rapist, right? Okay. Say that's all true. We've heard the rumors about some moguls inside of the rap industry inviting people to mansions and parties and saying, hey, we could push you and we can make you big. We can make you this particular way. All you got to do is just let me screw you. Let me have sex with you and we could make you big, and this is what they all do to get in to be big. This is what they all do to make it to the top. This is what they all do if you want to sell ruckus, if you want us to push you and make you famous. No, this is not what they all do, because at the end of the day, no matter how much fame I got, no matter how much money I got, I could never do enough drugs. I could never drink enough alcohol to wash away the horrible thoughts and the horrible feelings and the horrible moods that you've put me in by compromising me, by letting another man have sex with me. And think about it, people. Maybe that's why so many stars and Hollywood people on drugs, and that's why so many people constantly getting in trouble with the law. And as we see, all type of sexual allegations are coming out for everybody. So now that you really listen to this woman, maybe she's not far-fetched off and crying and bitching and complaining like we all thought she had been prior. Maybe this woman is making a very valid point, but just like nobody wanted to listen to the Bill Cosby people, nobody wanted to listen to, the U.S. gymnastic girls, nobody wanted to listen to the people for the Harvey Weinstein. I can't think of the girl name, back in 2008 or something, she said, somebody asked her, I think it was Courtney Love, right? And I could be misquoting, but I think it is Courtney Love. They asked her, what advice would you give somebody trying to make it into the industry? And her answer was, well, I would tell you, don't go to a hotel room alone with Harvey Weinstein. This was back in 2008 that Courtney Love said this, right? Now, ever since then, Courtney Love has had her issues with, abuse and the law and things of that nature. Now look back on that and say why. No telling what this man did to her. And sometimes when you go through trauma, sometimes it takes a lot to get it out. People always tell us all the time that a mental scar lasts way longer than a physical scar is. We can all get used to, even if you lost an arm or a leg and stuff. It's a bad thing, a horrible thing, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But you learn to deal with it. You learn to cope, right? For some reason, we get over physical things, but mental stuff have you stuck, have you messed up for a long time. That's why mental illness is becoming such a prevalent thing, because we're just getting to the point where we're understanding that mental things have you stuck in a rut, stuck in a place for a long time that nobody even realized that you're there. You don't even realize that you're there until your breaking point happens and until something happens that you snap. Look at the Kentucky shooting. The recent shooting in Kentucky, the kid shooting in the school. We don't know. So mental scars have this way of lingering and affecting our life in ways that we can't even imagine, ways that we don't even know until we've hit that point where we black out and do something crazy, and then we come back to we don't even know what we did. So the more Monique talks, I'm telling you, I'm starting to come around to understanding where she getting at. And then the bottom line is this: people keep looking at the money part, and even I did that. I said, you must be in a really good position to turn down $500,000. But you know why I said that? Because I'm looking at a position where I'm in a position where I can't turn down $500,000. So if she's got the resume that she says she has, and she's made the money over the time, maybe she is in a position where she could turn that down. And at this particular point, it's not even about turning it down, more so than it's about standing up for what you believe in and what you feel that you're worth. She stood up for what she believed that she's worth. Now, the only problem I got with this, even though I believe her, even though I think she should stand up for what she believes she's worth, because God willing that my time comes where I have to negotiate and I get to the point where I'm making money from doing this podcast thing right here on Beat Break 87 FM, Atlanta's new home for underground content. I'm just trying to be facetious and throw a plug in, but getting back to the point, if I ever get to the point where I have to negotiate and I have to do something where it's going to take me to make money too, I want whatever I feel my fair share is. And I hope to God that I don't undervalue myself. Now, I don't want to overvalue myself too and ruin the deal and then get nothing. Because, at the end of the day, you do have mouths to feed. You do have bills to pay, mortgages and car notes and things of that nature. So I get all that. Sometimes you have to take what you can get and then do your very best and do your damnness to make sure that the very next time I sit at this table, we're going to have a very different conversation than we're having right now. But for now, I got to do this right here because, hey, look, I got obligations. And that's the bottom line. And that's how come a lot of people get taken advantage of, or the company or whoever you negotiate with get the better deal, because let's be honest, we're just not in a position to really negotiate. You need that money more than they need your services or more than they need you. So that's why, we're like Fred Sanford. You know what? No matter what deal they put on the table, I'll take it. But Pop, you didn't even see it. I'll take it. That's how we are. It just depends on where your life at. And I'm just glad that as a black woman, black person, period, she was in a position to know her self-worth and being able and to be able to turn $500,000 down. And then nobody's looking at it too. I'm glad that Wanda Sykes was in a position to know her self-worth and to be able to turn $250,000 down. Because I'm telling you, I don't know if I would have had the strength to do it, in my current situation. You can only be good and know your self-worth in order to do things like that. And that's all I got to say about that. You got to be able to know your self-worth to do that. So when you think about that and you understand where you at in life, we got to stop judging that lady. But getting back to what I was saying, the only problem I got to part with is boycotting Netflix. I don't know what else she could have came up with, but that's not going to happen. Netflix has become like GM and Ford and all those places, all the banks. They become way too big to fail. So I don't know if boycotting was the right thing to do, but I'm just glad she brought some attention to it to say, hey, look, there's some discrepancy here. There's a little bit of discrimination going on. And I don't want to say a little bit. In her mind, it's a lot, and I don't want to downplay how she feeling. But just know, Monique, after getting in all the facts and after listening and hearing things, you have convinced me that you are on the right path in telling the truth. Because I was one of the first people to say, who the hell does Monique think she is? But it don't matter who I think Monique thinks she is. It matters who Monique thinks she is, people.
Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
Hi, this is Clifford English, your host and producer of The Gospel Train. Join me every Sunday right here on Beat Break 87 FM radio. You will be encouraged, you will be equipped, you will be educated, you will be entertained, all while hearing the best in gospel music. Don't miss your connection with The Gospel Train right here on Beat Break 87 FM radio. BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
We specialize in creating mobile apps for the entertainment industry. Go to bvmobileapps.com, click Get Started Now, create your account, choose your package, upload your content, and click Submit. BV Mobile Apps. Make it easy. Make it mobile.
Hey world, it's your man Precise, and I have great news. The Precise Music app is finally available for your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry through Amazon and other app stores. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z. Go get it for all things Precise. Powered by BlackVibes.com. I tried to put it off, but I can't. It's on me. Tried to blame the other man, but I can't. It's on me. Stay in tune. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z.
He has performed on stage in front of thousands of poetry lovers. He has sold out shows and rocked the crowd with the best poets in the industry. Welcome to the stage, spoken word artist, Patrick Duncan, better known as the Preacher Man.
I am Benjamin P. Montgomery. I invented a boat propeller. I am the former president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela.
Critically acclaimed spoken word artist, poet, writer, and the creator of Black on Purpose poetry TV series Wordplay. Patrick the Preacher Man Duncan is coming to a venue near you.
Why is the only time we can come together as a nation is when there are acts of insanity, chaos, or devastation.
Stay tuned to Beat Break 87 FM for updates on Patrick Duncan's upcoming arrival to your city. Visit cdbaby.com/CD/Patrick S. Duncan to order his latest album, What's Going On. Available online, including CD Baby and iTunes.
I want this high to have no affiliation to a political party. I want this high to be spiritual.
For more info, go to BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
Beat Break 87 FM wants to help you get the word out on your next community event.
Hey, do you have an upcoming public service announcement that you want listeners to know about? Well, email us the info to psabeatbreak87@gmail.com so we can help spread the word. That's psabeatbreak87@gmail.com. If your event flyer has the words nonprofit, community, support, charity, and just describes everything about helping our community, please share the special event right here on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
When it comes to hip hop,
Don't stop.
R&B, and talk radio, no one does it better than Beat Break 87 FM.
This portion of Beat Break Radio is only suitable for mature audiences and not suitable for young audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Hey guys, welcome back into the Random Select Podcast. I am your host Mario, and we're right here on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives. Definitely hope you enjoyed the last segment. Just wanted to talk a little bit about Trump and, get a little something about Monique off my chest. But this particular hour right here, we're going to talk about abortions, guys. It's one of them type of things that's been an issue for as long as I've been on this earth, to be perfectly honest with you. Roe versus Wade and pro-lifers and pro-choicers and things of that nature. And I want to share a clip with you guys that kind of brings home how disturbing and terrible this particular thing is that we call abortion. It's a messed up thing, though. I mean, no matter how you try to deal with it, live with it, and make your decision and your choices off of it, it's a horrible thing. And people ask me, when I be debating with people, when I'm gonna have Tiffany French on the show at some point, and this is her cup of tea. She love to debate this. She believes in pro-life, right? And you got people that believe in pro-choice. Pro-choice is the fact that they believe that women should have the right to choose to abort a fetus, a baby, or however you want to term it, whenever they want. And pro-life believes that you should have the baby no matter what the situation is. And people ask me, what am I? I say all the time, I'm neither pro-life or pro-choice. It just depends on what the situation is. I believe in situational abortions. That's because I do. And let me just give you some examples of situational abortion so people can understand what I'm saying. Because the first time I said this to Tiffany, she went, I don't know what that is. Okay, I believe that if you are raped, I think you should have the right to abort a child. I think if it's for a medical reason, I think you should have the right to abort a child. I think if it comes out of molestation from a family member, father, brother, uncle, I think you should have the right to abort a child. That's why I say I believe in situational abortions. I just think that if they tell you that from early testing and early preliminations that your child may be born with Down syndrome, or your child may have a debilitating thing that's going to hinder your life and their life, and if you can catch it early enough, I think you should abort. And I know people are going to say, well, under what situation do you think they should have kids? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not talking about, just person that just run around, keep popping kids just because that's what they doing. No, not that person. Yeah, that person should have kids, and having the kids enough should definitely be their punishment. I'm not talking about skank out there who just keep popping babies because she refused to strap up. I'm not talking about the person who just keep trying to trap men by getting pregnant and stuff like that. No, I'm not talking about thoughts and skanks and tramps and people like that, you know, not prostitutes because a condom bust, you decide you're going to have a baby. You know, I just think that you knew the risk going in, so you should have your baby. I'm just talking about merely situational abortions. And I'm going to play a clip that's going to bring all this home, going to make it where you guys can understand what I'm saying. And then you could kind of really decide if you're pro-life or pro-choice. Because people say that, well, if she got raped, it's still a life. Then if she don't want to have the baby, once she just carry the baby to term and then give the baby away, right? That's what a lot of their logic and that's what their main argument would be. But then you got to come back, nobody would, and they say, and then once they come with that argument, they'll say that everybody wins. But everybody don't win. The person who don't win is the person who has to carry that baby for 9 months that they didn't ask for, want, or plan for. No one should have to carry a baby that was brought to them against their will through force. And are we forgetting the most important part of this? Raping someone is a crime. Yeah, it's a crime. So are y'all trying to tell me that this lady was violated? And some rapes are vicious and brutal. Some are soft and some takes you a minute to really process if you were really raped, you know, but some are just brutal and just vicious. So you asking this woman to carry a child for 9 months and potentially have the child, and God forbid the child come out looking like the father. She got to look at a kid every day that looks like the man who put her through one of the worst moments, if not the worst moment of her life. I don't think so. Not on my watch that I wouldn't allow that to happen, you know. And then they say, well, give it away, but you still don't want to carry it for 9 months knowing that you were violated and this baby was put in your body against your will. You didn't ask for it. You didn't want it. You didn't plan for it. And then would y'all be the same type of people that after he do his time saying that when he comes out of jail that the rapist should be able to have a relationship with their kid? A kid that they forcefully put on someone? So when does it all stop? If you're going to say she might have well had a kid when he get out of jail, you might as well let him be a part of the life, a part of the kid's life too. And while they at it, why not you go ahead and fall in love with the person that you raped, and then y'all become just one big old happy family. And tell your kid, you know, and when you get to the point where you're telling the kid y'all origin story, you should say, you know, son, when I first met your mom, I wouldn't call it love at first sight. You know, I waited in the bushes on her. And as soon as she parked her car, I caught her coming out the parking garage. And I don't even want to take that joke no further. You know what I'm saying? Because it's sick and disgusting in itself. What do you tell a kid that if all that went down? So I'm saying sometimes it's easy to say you're pro-life. But have you ever really sat down to take some time to think what pro-life means? Right? Not every situation deserves for someone to go ahead and have the baby. All right, for you pro-choice people, feel that under any circumstances you could just get rid of the baby no matter what you did. Let me throw out a number here. They said since 1973, in this country alone, there's been over 60 million abortions. That's a lot of babies, a lot of people. That's enough people to start several countries, people. That's a lot of death. There's a lot of screwing going on too, but a lot of death. So in our country and in our culture, abortion is normal. I mean, it seems as if, you know, everybody now, and I don't want to say everybody, but the majority of us, especially in the black community, know somebody who's had an abortion, know somebody who's talked about it, know somebody who said they're asking whether can they get the morning after pill, We know, and some of us know people who have had several abortions. I know I do, and no, I'm not throwing out any names, guys, but I'm just saying I know them, and you probably do too. And because none of them were raped, they just because they feel, they didn't want a baby at the time. Now, I don't believe in that. I believe in you do it in that particular order. Your promiscuous lifestyle needs to be, tamed, and you got to have that baby because you was out there doing things you shouldn't be doing. Now, but at the same time, everybody that's okay. Let me just tell y'all a quick story, and then I'm gonna move on from there. Once upon a time, when I was younger, I decided that, I had a situation where I decided, hey, look, I'm too young, and let's go get the abortion, because in where I come from, you get somebody pregnant, that's the first thing you do. You know what I'm saying? Go get your $300-400, save it up, and hey, we going to take her to get the abortion, right? So once I got to the abortion place, and at the time, like I said, I was 17, going on 18 years old last year in high school. And when I got in the place, even at 17, the place just felt wrong. When I got in there and saw how many young girls was in this place, I mean, it was pretty much kids there with older men. And you could tell the way these men were with these kids, these weren't these girls' fathers. It was a bunch of old men in there, with these kids, and that's what put everything in perspective for me. And that's when I said to myself, this cannot be done. This cannot happen. And I just came out and I convinced her, hey, look, don't do this. I'll do whatever I have to do to take care of this kid. I'll do whatever, has to be done, So I said, hey, look, matter of fact, it was a Long John Silver's across the street. I said, hey, I'm going to go over here and apply for a job. I'm going to do what I got to do. And which is ironic about that, I ended up getting a job at Long John Silver's. Worked there until the baby was born. And through the urging of my uncle, we got a DNA test and found out that the baby was not my baby. But, through that experience, it got me my first job. Through that experience, it taught me, responsibility. Through all that right there, because I had a good support system as far as someone said, hey, my mom was like, if that's your baby, you going to take care of that baby because Mama Watts didn't play that. You know what I mean? But come to find out it wasn't my kid because I was a dumb kid, made a mistake. But I didn't want, just because I made a mistake, wasn't worth killing somebody for, So this clip that I'm going to play, this guy, he's going to be, I'm going to tell you guys now, before it all gets going, it's going to be very graphic. So if you're squeamish or you got a weak constitution, you might want to mute me down. Do not turn away from do not listen anymore and not come back. Matter of fact, don't even go away because, y'all people got short attention span. Just bear and grin it. You know what I'm saying? Just deal with it. Maybe you need to hear this to wake some minds up or to pass along so you can potentially wake somebody else's mind up, because I can't believe I was about to tell you guys to turn away. No, don't turn me off. Whatever you do, do not turn me off. No, but it's not graphic in how he explaining in the words that he used. It's graphic once you put your own imagination to it. Once you put your own mental pictures to it, it's graphic, So, with that being said, let me let you hear a guy who used to perform abortions on a regular, everyday basis tell you, how it goes. And it kind of makes me wonder why he got out the game, If you're making $800 for every 15 minutes, I bet you he probably didn't get out the game until he had made a boatload of money. Usually that's how consciences work, Usually you don't develop a conscience until you're well off to say you can walk away from it. But when he was first getting $800 for 15 minutes, I bet you money he had no plans, no thoughts to walk away from it. All right, let's check it out, guys.
In my career, I performed 1,200 abortions. And everything I tell you is firsthand and true. I want to imagine for a minute that you're a pro-choice obstetrician gynecologist like I used to be. Your patient is 17 years old. She's 20 weeks pregnant. Her uterus is all the way up to her umbilicus. If you could see her baby, easily done on an ultrasound, her baby's about 8 inches long, basically the length from the tip of your finger to your wrist, not counting the legs. She's been feeling her baby kick for 2 weeks, but now she's asleep on an operating room table and you're there to help her with her problem. You walk into that operating room scrubbed and gowned, and there's some instruments on a table to your right. The first thing you want to get is a suction catheter. It's a clear plastic tube about 9 inches long. And picture yourself, if you could, putting that tube up through the cervix into the uterus, and instruct your circulating nurse to turn on the suction. What you'll see is pale yellow fluid running through the tubing into the machine. That was the amniotic fluid that was there to protect the baby. Now, if she were only 12 weeks pregnant or less, a 12-week baby is about the width of your hand. You could pretty much do the entire abortion with that one instrument. Babies this big, they don't fit through catheters that size. So you reach down for something called a Sofer clamp. It's about 13 inches long. It's a heavy instrument. And the business end is 2.5 inches long and 1/2 inch wide with rows of sharp teeth. It's a grasping instrument. When it gets a hold of something, it does not let go. A second trimester abortion is a blind procedure. You can't see what you're doing. And carefully place that instrument, see yourself doing this into the uterus, and grab blindly anything you can, and feel yourself pull, and I mean hard. And out pops a leg that big, which you put down on the table next to you. And reach in with that instrument again blindly. Grasp and pull hard. Out comes an arm just as big that you put down on the table next to you. And reach in with that instrument again and again, and tear out the spine, the intestines, the heart, and lungs. Head on a baby that size is about the size of a plum. And again, you can't see it, but you're pretty sure you got it if you've got the instrument around something and your fingers are spread as far as they'll go. You know you did it right if you crush down on the instrument and white material runs out of the cervix. That was the baby's brains. Then you can pull out skull pieces. And if you have a wonderful day like I had a lot of days, sometimes a little face comes back and stares back at you. Congratulations. You just successfully performed the second trimester D&E abortion. You just affirmed her right to choose. You just made $800 cash in 15 minutes. This is what we're talking about, folks. This is what they are asking you to decide on.
All right, guys. Well, there you have it. I told you it was going to be graphic in nature. I told you guys that not so much as to what he was saying, but just, really thinking about what he said about the instruments that they use. She being 17 years old, I couldn't imagine if one of my daughters had to go through that at 17. It's heartbreaking. It's downright sad, to be totally honest with you. I just wish that, I don't know. I don't think no one should go through that. No one should have to go through that, definitely alone. I definitely remember taking one of my friend's girlfriend to get an abortion. And to me, I questioned, why can't he do this? But he had to work. But his idea was we couldn't, afford to have a baby at the time. But, I'm sitting here thinking, man, all this just feels wrong. And, I love him to death, and I understood, what the decision was. And this was when, we were younger, and it just didn't feel right. No matter how you look at it, no matter how it was, it just had stench all over it, And to this day, I still feel like, man, I was a part of something that now as a 40-something-year-old man, I would have never done. I would have never done this right now. I would have said, hey, look, that's y'all thing. I ain't going to be a party to this. I ain't going to be a witness to this. I would have said no. But back then, because that's my boy, that was my ride or die person, I know he would do anything for me. Hey, look, well, we can make it. I'll do this, because I always felt, well, it didn't have anything to do with me. But as you get older and you understand, you know what I'm saying, as they say, in New York, see some, say some. I saw that it was wrong. I should have said something, but I didn't. I didn't have the wherewithal at that particular time to say, hey, look, you guys should rethink this about what you're doing, because it's not like it was a messed up situation. At that particular time, y'all were in a relationship. So it was wrong on so many accords and so many accounts, but I was there. I was a part of it. But what do you think about it? I mean, on social media, guys, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, let me know. Are you pro-life? Are you pro-choice? And give me a reason why. And give me, or are you like me? You sort of like stuck in the middle, in between. Like I said, I believe in situational abortions. I mean, to think about what these people going through, if you don't catch it in time, they pretty much are saying that they ripped the baby apart and tear it out. Now, if we saw somebody do that in real life, or we saw somebody do that in our regular, normal life, we'd say they're barbarians, they're animals. How could they do that? They need to be thrown under the jail. But we don't even remotely say that about doctors. Not only do we not say that about doctors, we pay them to do it to us. And when I say us, I mean the women. I definitely don't mean me. And I don't even want to pretend that I can put my mindset where a woman would be in order to have an abortion. That's something I would never, ever try to remotely simulate that I understand from, because I couldn't. Even as a man, the logical part of me, very well educated person, know that you could never ever put your mind on that level to understand what a woman going through when they faced with such a decision. Because you don't know years after the fact that they do it, how long that sits with them, So I just think from a father standpoint now, I would never want my kids to do that. If you feel that you got pregnant, it was a mistake, come to me. We work this out. We talk about this. We go over all your options. And chances are, no matter what type of mistake it was, unless it's one of those situations that I mentioned before I played the clip, a situation abortion, unless it was rape, it's a medical reasons, or you were molested by one of your family members or something like that. But if it was just you out being fast and being promiscuous, you gonna have this baby. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, people. This one of the ones that is hard to do, because I can remember myself being young and right there at that point saying, oh, if it's mine, she getting an abortion. I mean, that was just a generic, just automatic answer. It was like autofill. If somebody said that they were pregnant, it ain't mine, she getting an abortion. Which goes to show you the cultural and generational messed up, misguided information that was going on in our society, in my neighborhood. Because instead of saying I'm gonna be right there and I'm gonna do right by her and do right by my kid, the first thing we say is okay. We go straight to the abortion clinic. And the sad part about it is, when you're young, you know where they all at. They try their best to dress them up and make them inconspicuous. As soon as you see a bunch of young girls going over here to this little hut-looking thing, look like used to be a house, with no descript, old run down, but you see cars in the parking lot. You see, girls coming out of there looking all woozy, like they can't stand. Oh, you already know it's the abortion clinic. And by the time you get of a certain age, it's plenty of people in the hood, and women and definitely men too, know exactly where all the abortion clinics are at. And they don't advertise. You don't see them on commercials. But I guarantee you they're not lacking any money. As you just heard him say, he made $800 straight cash for 15 minutes worth of work, because no insurance company is definitely going to pay for the abortion unless it's probably a medical reason or something like that. But that particular business right there is cash and carry. All the guys coming there already with the money ready to go. Some guys keep abortion money, abortion funds, where they can just say, hey, look, in a few minutes, I know I'm going to get somebody pregnant, so I already got a little money stashed away so we can go ahead and get that abortion. Abortion has become so prevalent now, you got guys knowing what the best place to go for the proper discount. Because as the doctor said, when you clamping on stuff and you grabbing stuff, how do you know? I mean, granted, you're tearing the baby up, breaking it out limb by limb and stuff like that, which is just unimaginable. It's horrible for me to even try to think about. But how do you know what you're doing to the woman? What are you clamping on with sharp razor edges, to her? What is being done to her internally? What happens when she decides that she wants to get her life right and probably have a husband and come to find out you done something to her where she can't have kids, all because of this one childish mistake or foolish mistake that she made by going to a butcher to let her have an abortion? Because I don't understand what this guy is saying now. Or he's saying that all of a sudden one day he grew a conscience and decided not to do it anymore. To me, the very first time you performed an abortion, wasn't it wrong? I don't get it. You know what I mean? I mean, how many hundreds of thousands of dollars had you collected before you decided that this was wrong? Now, this is a gray, salt and pepper, gray-haired dude, so he's got time in. He's put time in. He's done this a while. And, I mean, but how much money had you collected before you realized that this is wrong? And as he said, he, depending on what type of day he having, he might pull one of the baby heads out, and you might see the baby's face, knowing that you've got the baby by, that you've crushed the brain because of what color the fluid comes out. You crushed the baby's skull. That is inhumane just to even think about it, people. So I'm to the point in my life, now that I know that this is how it's done, and now that I've heard all the stuff, I would never ask a woman to get an abortion. Because if this is how it goes down, and this is how it's done, to even ask, does that make you as cold and cruel and just as much as an animal as the person who's performing the abortion? I mean, it makes me truly want to know, are you cold and callous just like that person? All right, guys, we're going to leave it right there because this pisses me off just to think about it. Plus, we're up against the break. You're inside the Random Select Podcast. It's the podcast that's all about thought-provoking talk. I am your host, Mario, and we're right here on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio live, guys. And I will catch you after the break.
This is Atlanta's new underground station.
How you doing? This is Wood Harris.
Hi, this is Jasmine Guy.
What's going on in Atlanta? This is Clifton Powell.
Hey guys, it's Niecy Nash from TV Land's The Soul Man. This is Cat Williams.
Check this out. This is your boy RL from NEXT.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Lunel.
What's up, ATL? It's your girl Ken of Atlantic Records.
Hi, I'm Taraji P. Henson.
WBS 87 Atlanta, WAEN FM Atlanta, WBHH, and on iHeartRadio, home of the Beat Break Morning Show with Sean Garvey, DJ Rollum, and the Wake Up Ladies. Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives. Streaming online at BeatBreakRadioFM.com. Download the TuneIn app to hear Beat Break 87 FM on your mobile device and listen to the Beat Break Morning Show. Weekday mornings only on Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
What's up, ATL? Make sure that you check out the D Here Radio Show on Beat Break 87 and BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
Hey world, it's your man Precise, and I have great news. The Precise Music app is finally available for your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry through Amazon and other app stores. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z. Go get it for all things Precise. Powered by BlackVibes.com. I tried to put it off, but I can't. It's on me. Tried to blame the other man, but I can't. It's on me. Stay in tune. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z.
We specialize in creating mobile apps for the entertainment industry. Go to bvmobileapps.com, click Get Started Now, create your account, choose your package, upload your content, and click Submit. BV Mobile Apps. Make it easy. Make it mobile.
Listen to Beat Break 87 FM on the go. Download the Beat Break 87 FM app from the app marketplace, including Amazon, Google Play, and the App Store. View photos, videos, and Beat Break 87 shows on your mobile device. Download the Beat Break 87 FM app now for free.
He has performed on stage in front of thousands of poetry lovers. He has sold out shows and rocked the crowd with the best poets in the industry. Welcome to the stage, spoken word artist Patrick Duncan, better known as the Preacher Man.
I am Benjamin P. Montgomery. I invented a boat propeller. I am the former president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela.
Critically acclaimed spoken word artist, poet, writer, and the creator of Black on Purpose poetry TV series Wordplay. Patrick the Preacher Man Duncan is coming to a venue near you.
Why is the only time we can come together as a nation is when there are acts of insanity, chaos, or devastation.
Stay tuned to Beat Break 87 FM for updates on Patrick Duncan's upcoming arrival to your city. Visit cdbaby.com/CD/Patrick S. Duncan to order his latest album, What's Going On. Available online, including CD Baby and iTunes.
I want this high to have no affiliation to a club or party. I want this high to be spiritual.
For more info, go to BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
Wake up weekday mornings to the Beat Break Morning Show and nod your head in bed to the 360 Mix Show. Weeknights on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
This portion of Beat Break Radio is only suitable for mature audiences and not suitable for young audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Back from the break. I want to thank you for spending your Tuesday afternoon with me inside of the Random Select Podcast. It's the podcast that's all about thought-provoking talk right here on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM. It's where music and talk radio lives. All right, we're getting ready to head down the final stretch of the show, guys. We got this portion of the show and then one more, and that will be it. Last segment, we talked about, abortions, a really messed up subject to talk about, but nevertheless, it's part of our society. And if it's part of our society, it makes it fair game for the Random Select Podcast. I want to thank all you guys that listen, and I really do appreciate it, because without you guys, there could be no Random Select Podcast. If you guys like what you're hearing, please share, guys. Please let somebody know that we're out here, that we're grinding, we're chopping, and we're trying to do something positive. Really appreciate that. And hopefully upcoming soon we'll be doing some giveaways and things like that to try to give you that extra incentive to want to spend your afternoon from 3 to 5 with me right here inside of the Random Select Podcast. The podcast is all about thought-provoking talk. Also, guys, go to the website, beatbreakradiofm.com. There you will find links to find all the shows where they're on demand. You can download the Beat Break mobile app. They have the shows on demand as well. Also, there's that little button that says Listen Now, and it could take you right to whatever is playing at the time on Beat Break Radio. And hopefully what's playing at the time on Beat Break Radio is right here with the Random Select Podcast. You're listening to me right now. But in any event, if you already have the TuneIn app, guys, just look us up, type in Beat Break 87 FM, click up under the station banner and station tab, and you should find a streaming live right there. So I just want to say thank you guys for for supporting the Random Select Podcast. We're on Beat Break 87 going into I think our third week. It's been so fun and so good. I can't even keep up with how long we've been here, and that's really good. When you don't know how much time you've been in a place, it must not have been that bad. So thank you guys. So share and definitely let people know that we're out here. And today, guys, I want to keep this short and sweet, but I want to get right to the point. I've been thinking recently about some of the decisions I've made in my life and some of the decisions that I made as a man. And I just come to that conclusion that I know exactly where I messed up. I know exactly where I went wrong. And to put it in plain English, I know exactly where I fucked up, you know. And this podcast is about going back, looking at my life, and just talking about how I went wrong, how I messed things up. As a man, there's only so many times in your life you can say that you found someone that truly have your back, been in your corner, and down with you, as we like to say, from day one. I always got a kind word for you, no matter what. If they got $20, they willing to give you 10 of them, you know? And sometimes when you got that type of person in your life and they've been that for you for so long, you start to take that for granted. You start to assume that they're always going to be there. And that's not always the case, because like with anything of quality or anything that you care about, that you care to nurture and that you care to see, want to do good and see prosper, you got to take care of it. Just like any relationship, you got to work at it. Just like any friendship, you got to work at it. But sometimes when we get comfortable gives us this air of invincibility for some reasons. Comfortable give us this thing where we always think that, oh, that person will always be there. And sometimes we need to look at being comfortable with a person as an enemy to your friendship, an enemy to your relationship, because when you become comfortable with a person or a situation, that's code word for becoming lax. That's code word for not giving effort. That's code word for assuming that that person will always be there for you and always got your back. And once again, that's not always true. And I'm telling you guys, I know the exact moment I went wrong. And ladies, if you're dealing with a man and he becomes of a certain age and he's starting to round out mentally and starting to figure out some things about life, there's not a man out there that has hit a certain point that can't tell you exactly where he screwed up, exactly where he fucked up at. And I'm telling you, I'm at that point of my life that I could pinpoint almost to the day, to the minute, to the second where I screwed up. And this particular podcast is just one of those type of things where, more so than a podcast, it's an opportunity for me to vent, to get some things off my chest. So I appreciate you guys giving me that opportunity. Thanks everybody. Thanks to everybody that always supports the Random Select podcast and that tune in and send all the wonderful likes and comments, and I appreciate that. But back to what I was saying. I mean, for us men, right? Some of us, and I'm not going to say everybody, because some men actually do get on the straight and narrow early and understand that this is the woman they want to love, this is the woman they want to be with, and that's pretty much the path they stay on, which is very commendable. You know, if I could do things all over, I would definitely stay on that path, because I'm learning it's not how many women you get. That's one of the biggest lies and myths that has been portrayed to us. It's not how many notches on your belt you get. It's about having that quality notch on your belt. 'Cause one good woman is worth 50 bad women, 50 pointless one night encounters, 50 pointless just let's hook up, let's have sex and move on. Because at the end of the day, and women, I'm going to tell you something that most men know, we understand, we've been through, and we know to be true. When y'all hook up with us, and it's just a booty call and one night stand, 10 years from now, we won't even remember y'all name. Somebody have to say, whatever happened to that girl that you, remember that night you went to the hotel? Whatever happened to that girl? You'd be like, oh, yeah. I can't remember her name, but boy, she was freaky. We had a really good time. And is that the type of impression that you want to leave on a man? Is that he remember you were freaky, but he can't remember your name? And on the flip side of that, man, is that the type of thing you want in your life where you can't remember her name, but you know she was freaky? So if something ever go sideways or something ever go twisted and you need to track her down, you wouldn't even begin to know because you don't know her name. You know? So one of the biggest tricks been taught to us by men. Boy, you must be a player by now. How many girlfriends you got? Oh, uncle, I ain't got no girl. Boy, let me tell you something. You better sit down and get all the girls you could get. And then instead of us trying to process that, we go out and try to get all the girls we can get. And then you don't realize you're forming a pattern. You're performing behavior, and that's going to last you for the rest of your life. You're going to end up causing yourself pain, hurt, and misery. And most of all, you're going to end up causing the woman pain, hurt, and misery. Because our pain, hurt, and misery is different from a woman's pain, hurt, and misery, right? She internalizes all her pain, hurt, and misery and say, if he loved me, why do he do me like this? If he loved me, why do he take me through the things that he take me through? And the first thing we say is, if she loved me, why won't she let me do her that way? If she loved me, she'd understand that I was just fucking them girls. They ain't mean nothing to me. If she loved me, she would understand, take me back and just know that's just a man being a man. And see, right off the bat, we rationalize things different. We look at things in two different ways. So I used to think, right? The reason we as men say we look at things differently because that's what you've been taught from day one. We've been taught that they should forgive us. We've been taught that what we're doing is just men being men, right? And it all goes back to what I've been saying right from the jump. I can remember the day that I truly messed up, that I threw away something that should have been so right, so good, so perfect for me and my life. And then in turn, I could have been the same thing for her. So I walk around every day with that heavy weight, knowing that my life could have, may have, and ultimately should have been different if I just would have did what I was supposed to do at that point where I was supposed to do it. But because I had been taught all wrong and couldn't see it, right? And now that I can, that I've grown out of that mental mind state and that I can see it, I don't know if I could ever do something about it. I don't know if I could ever get it back on track, and I don't know if she would ever want me. I don't know if she would have me, because so many times I've told her, I'm about to get right. Didn't get right. Oh, this time it's different. It wasn't different. This time I'm for real. Wasn't for real. This time is not like the past 50 times. I mean it with all my heart this time. Didn't mean it with all your heart. Because she is starting to get to the point where saying that he must not really give a damn or give a fuck about me because he keep telling me lie after lie, disappointment after disappointment, heartbreak after heartbreak. When is it ever going to end? And that's what you got to ask yourself as a man. When is it ever going to end, right? How many lies you going to tell? How many games you going to play before you realize that you're dealing with another person's life? Before you realize that somebody other than you matter in this particular situation. When you're going to get to the point for once, you're going to take that person's feelings and how they looking at life and put that into consideration and put that first for one moment, for one time, just put them first. Can you do that? And until you can say yes to that question as a man, you're going to forever have your wheels out there spinning, because until you could put somebody else first and do a selfless act and love them the way that you ultimately want to be loved, I'm talking about the most purest and truest essence of love, not this dysfunctional, just because she decided to give me head outside or decided that she going to do some freaky shit that must mean she loved me. No, not that type of love. That's the type of love that now can be easily bought. I'm talking about the type of love that can't be bought. The type of love that can never be bought. The type of love that loves you because they actually love you. She actually loves you. Not this new age love where she loves you for as long as the money is coming, for as long as the funds are good, for as long as you're taking her on trips and you're buying her bags and shoes and clothes and maybe paying rent. You're keeping up her lifestyle. Not that type of love. We all know that type of love is not sustainable. But I'm telling you, I know exactly where I fucked up. I mean, I had Shangri-La in the palm of my hands. I mean, the Garden of Eden was right there. It was so close, you know, I could actually touch it, felt it, got so close to it that it probably scared the hell out of me that maybe my life could be this fulfilling. Maybe I could actually be happy for a change. And the closer I got to being happiness, the more afraid I became. Because sometimes we preach what we want. Sometimes we talk about it like we just got to have it, and we talk about it like we're going after our dreams with this you know, vigor and this zest, but we don't. Sometimes it's just pure, unadulterated talk. It's just propaganda. It's just something that sounds good just because at the moment it makes another person make you feel like, wow, they're really in tune with who they are. But what they need to be saying is they're not really in tune with who they are. They're just in tune with putting out bullshit to you. Because no matter what nobody says, proof is in the pudding. You could talk a good game, you know. Hitler talked a good game. David Koresh talked a good game. You know, Charles Manson talked a good game. Yeah, you get where I'm going. Just because you talk a good game don't make you the most right person, don't make you the brightest person, don't make you any more special to anybody else. But what you do with those words, once you say them into the universe and put them into the air, and then you put the actions behind those words, that's what makes you the type of person that a person can be, say, trustworthy, and a person can say dependable. And I was none of this to that person. I was none of this to Pinky, you know. I was none of this to a person that all they did was wanted to love me and have my back and be there for me, you know. All I was just a person that was just wading in the water, wasting her fucking time. So I know exactly where I went wrong. I know exactly where I fucked up. And sometimes I'm not afraid to admit this. Sometimes I lay in the bed and I don't outwardly cry, but sometimes I find tears going down my face because I just say to myself, I know life cannot be like this. There's got to be more to life. And I put that in a past podcast, and there's got to be more to life. And sometimes I feel this overwhelming sadness to know that I fucked up like this, you know. Because all I did was have love for her in my heart. Or so I thought. That's what I used to preach to her. That's what I used to tell her all the time. That, yo, I love you. Hey, baby, I love you. And she would say, I love you back too. But the difference between my love and her love, she gave me the type of love I could feel. I gave her the type of love she had to wonder about. Big difference. She gave me the type of love that I could feel. I gave her the type of love she had to wonder about, the type of love she had to question, the type of love where she could never firmly put her foot on the ground and say for certainty from a rooftop that that's my man and I love him and he loves me. I never gave her that reassurance. And so sometimes I sit here with regret. I'll go out and I'll have me a cigar. And I'll just sit there and think about all the times we had, all the memories, all the times she made me laugh, all the times we got into fights, all the arguments. I'll just sit and I'll smoke a cigar and I'll just fade away into my memories, fade away into that blissful moment when we were happy. Then a smile comes to my face. And then once the cigar is gone, and I kind of slip back into reality. Then it's just that, you know, I slip back into reality, and the reality is she's not here. She's gone. And the reality is I still fucked it up. I still was not right. I still didn't give her that reassurance that she needed. Because sometimes as a man, we walk around trying to be so comfortable with who we are. We be so stubborn in our knowledge that we tend to forget that in order for a relationship to go right, that other person has to be taken into consideration too. You know, you can feel her love, but what is she feeling back from you? Because no matter what anybody tells you, if two people running a race tied together, you know, like a sack race, it's only so long that the one person could carry the race before eventually both of you guys fall. You got to work together in order to get to that finish line. But a lot of time, us men, we don't want to work together. And I ain't gonna even put that on us, man. I'm just gonna put that on me. I always had the brightest mind in the room, matched by the darkest soul in the room. So sometimes you could be the brightest and you could be the smartest, but it leaves you still in a position where you don't know a damn thing. Because when it comes to matters of the heart and when it comes to love, admittedly, I'm behind. This should have been one of the greatest relationships of all time. This should have been the type of stuff that other people sit back and marvel at. This should have been the type of relationship where each and every person used us as the blueprint. Because I felt that strong about her. She felt that strong about me. No other person in this world knows me like this person knows me. But what do? I tell her to come a little closer. I take a big hug up, spit right in her face. Tell you I love you. But I keep doing stuff and doing things and doing shit to say that, nah, that really ain't true. I don't love you. I say this with my mouth. I say this with these words. But I really don't confirm it or reassure it with my actions, you know? So, as you walk away to get something to wipe the spit off your face, I just want to tell you one more time. I love you, baby. And that's supposed to keep her. That's supposed to make her right. That's supposed to make her say, wow, I got a great one here. So, I walk around with a confidence that's probably unparalleled and unmatched like no other. But that's just on the surface. Deep down inside, I'm so full of regret. My soul is riddled with regret over the fact that I potentially let the love of my life get away. And that hurts. So, don't ever let a man tell you that he don't have regrets. Because most of us do. Most women do too. But it's a fucked up thing to know when your light bulb come on mentally that you know you let what should have been the thing that righted your ship. As they say, the wind beneath your wings, the things that bring calm to your life in this crazy, turbulent world slip away. So, I always would know where I went wrong, where I messed up. Truth be told, guys, if you could pinpoint where you messed up in life, truth be told, you're fortunate because that means you've grown. That means you've gotten to the point where you understand where you're trying to go as opposed to where you came from, as opposed to where you were at, as opposed to the mistakes that you made then, as opposed to mistakes you're not trying to make now, if that makes any sense to you. Because if you're growing like you're supposed to grow, things are going to happen to you physically that you know, that getting older just happens. You know, it's nothing you could do about that. Like Cat Williams said, you'll start just getting hurt for no reason. You ain't doing anything. But your mind just works so great and functions so good that you really start thinking about your past, and you starting to think about situations that happened to you when you were young, and you went, oh, that's what happened. Like when you could think back to when you're young and you think about seeing certain things, you couldn't get it or understand at the time. You know, like my uncle and my auntie was fighting one time, and she kept on saying, you know, things that I just didn't get at the time. You know, I kept saying, who is Hussy? You know, she kept saying, you know, I thought Huzzy was an animal. I thought it was something. I didn't know. She just kept saying, you kept being with that hussy. You need to leave here if you want to be with that hussy. And I kept thinking, is she saying horsey? You know, I couldn't get it back then, you know, but now you go, oh, my uncle was cheating. My uncle was running around. He was doing things, because you understand back then you couldn't get it. And you always had this great picture and this great image of what your uncle were. You try to imitate and try to say, okay, if I had to pick a man in my life who I wanted to be like, it was my uncle. But then when you think back on it and you think about those conversations and those arguments that they had, you realize that, oh wait, maybe he wasn't the man I thought. But then when you start thinking about your life and you saying, man, I messed up right here. And I'm telling you, it's one of those things where you realize, man, what if I would have just did this? Where would my life be? But sometimes, as they say, you know, you are where you are because that's where you're supposed to be. I don't know if I agree with that for the most part, but I mean, it holds some weight, you know, it has some cachet to it. You know, you are where you at because that's where you're supposed to be. You know, and if you were supposed to be further along, you would be further along. And that's why I try to go hard every day. I try to work and come up with ideas and be creative and do things every day, because I know at some point, you know, the clock is ticking. Time is not on any of our sides. And for any of y'all think you could beat time, I got news for you. Time is undefeated. Just know that going forward, young man, time is undefeated. So just know that no matter what team you follow, no matter how great of a player you think something is, no matter what record they is, that great UCLA record, the Boston Celtics 11 championships and all of that, at some point all of them lost. I can tell you one thing that ain't never lost, and that's homeboy Father Time. He is undefeated. He like, I don't know, 45 million and oh. I'm just saying, every time he throw up a J, baby, nothing but net. Swish. So just keep that in mind, y'all. When y'all thinking about what's going on out there, because, hey, it is what it is, y'all. All right, we're going into the break. I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in to the Random Select right here on the Beat Break 87 FM, Atlanta's new underground station where music and talk radio lives.
Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
Hi, this is Clifford English, your host and producer of The Gospel Train. Join me every Sunday right here on Beat Break 87 FM radio. You will be encouraged, you will be equipped, you will be educated, you will be entertained, all while hearing the best in gospel music. Don't miss your connection with The Gospel Train right here on Beat Break 87 FM radio. BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
We specialize in creating mobile apps for the entertainment industry. Go to bvmobileapps.com, click Get Started Now, create your account, choose your package, upload your content, and click Submit. BV Mobile Apps. Make it easy. Make it mobile.
Hey world, it's your man Precise, and I have great news. The Precise Music app is finally available for your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry through Amazon and other app stores. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z. Go get it for all things Precise. Powered by BlackVibes.com. I tried to put it off, but I can't. It's on me. Tried to play the other man, but I can't. It's on me. Stay in tune. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z.
He has performed on stage in front of thousands of poetry lovers. He has sold out shows and rocked the crowd with the best poets in the industry. Welcome to the stage, spoken word artist, Patrick Duncan, better known as the Preacher Man.
I am Benjamin P. Montgomery. I invented a boat propeller. I am the former president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela!
Critically acclaimed spoken word artist, poet, writer, and the creator of Black on Purpose poetry TV series Wordplay. Patrick the Preacher Man Duncan is coming to a venue near you.
Why is the only time we can come together as a nation is when there are acts of insanity, chaos, or devastation.
Stay tuned to Beat Break 87 FM for updates on Patrick Duncan's upcoming arrival to your city. Visit cdbaby.com/CD/Patrick S. Duncan to order his latest album, What's Going On. Available online, including CD Baby and iTunes.
I want this high to have no affiliation to a political party. I want this high to be spiritual.
For more info, go to BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
Beat Break 87 FM wants to help you get the word out on your next community event.
Hey, do you have an upcoming public service announcement that you want listeners to know about? Well, email us the info to psabeatbreak87@gmail.com so we can help spread the word. That's psabeatbreak87@gmail.com. If your event flyer has the words nonprofit, community, support, charity, and just describes everything about helping our community, please share the special event right here on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
When it comes to hip hop,
Don't stop.
R&B, and talk radio, no one does it better than Beat Break 87 FM.
This portion of Beat Break Radio is only suitable for mature audiences and not suitable for young audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
All right, guys, welcome back in from the break, and hope you've been enjoying the show so far. Once again, thank you for spending your Tuesday evening with me. Whether you're stuck in traffic or you're at the gym getting it in, or you're just at home chilling, thank you for tuning in to the Random Select podcast. Once again, guys, if you like these shows, you could catch it on demand over on the Beat Break mobile app, and the show will re-air tonight from 10 to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So check it out, spread the word, and share, people. And we're going to close the show out today on Larry Nassar. That is the doctor that worked with the USA Gymnastics and worked at Michigan State. He received all of those years, and I just want to play a few clips to let you know how people feeling, let you know, to play a little part of the sentencing, give you Trevor Noah's opinion on it, and just say it was a sad thing. But now coming out at Michigan State University, come to find out that they have just had a culture, you know, of athletes running amok as far as sexual assault, sexual harassment, and things of that nature. And it's pretty much a culture of, you know, let's sweep it up under the rug, pretend it don't exist, all because these were athletes. Now, it's already had all type of backlash from it. A athletic director has stepped down. The president of the university has stepped down. The board of trustees from the U.S. Olympic Gymnastic Committee have all been disbanded. It's just, this thing has stench all over it, people. I mean, I can't imagine what it must be like for them girls who've been dealing with this to have reported to people. Reports been on file and people did nothing. You know, one of the girls were told that, oh, he's a doctor. You don't know the difference between a physical exam and molestation. Wow, really? She could, even a little kid could feel when something is not quite right. They know when you're not supposed to be touching me here or touching me there. But the sad part about all of this is Nassar did a lot of this stuff with a lot of parents in the room. If not in the room, maybe outside the door, no more than 10 feet away. And that's the sad part about it. And then this man was told on, but no one did anything. It goes to show you the culture of where we're at when it comes to men touching women. And I had a debate a long time ago with my wife, and I told her, she said, I told her that sex rules the world, you know, and she said, oh no, that's just you and your dirty mind. And it was about 10 years ago. Fast forward now, and she see what I'm talking about. She just came to me and she said, you were right, you know. And I said, I know that I'm right, because at this particular point, we become a society where three things reign prominent right now: And you're going to be shocked to find out that money is not at the top of that list. Yeah, people want money, but sex, fame, and power is starting to overtake money, because people look at the YouTubes, look at the Facebook, look at all the videos coming out. People just want stuff to go viral. People just want to be famous, want their 15 minutes of fame. People just want to be able to know that they can control people. Money used to be the root of all evil, as my friend Decatur May Dave like to say. I think fame is the root of all evil now. Everybody want their 15 minutes and willing to do whatever for the 15 minutes of fame. And Larry Nassar molested and touched and assaulted some of these girls for over 25 years. How do you let something happen for 25 years in a public space? You know, he worked for the U.S. Gymnastics, and he worked at Michigan State University. And I hate to tell Michigan State this, but all type of heads are about to roll from this. The fallout from this, because they got documents where people have come to you and say that, hey, these basketball players, these football players, they're doing things that are just unspeakable, but nothing ever happened. And that's a shame. But all right, let me get into some of this. And you guys probably already heard this, but I just think, you know, we'll talk about it after this.
It is my honor and privilege to sentence you. Because, sir, you do not deserve to walk outside of a prison ever again. It is my privilege. On counts 1, 2, 5, 8, 10, and 18. And 24. To sentence you to 40 years. And when I look at my cheat sheet, 40 years, just so you know and you can count it off your calendar, is 480 months. The tail end, because I need to send a message to the parole board in the event somehow God is gracious, and I know He is, and you survive the 60 years in federal court first, and then you start on my 40 years, you've gone off the page here as to what I'm doing. My page only goes to 100 years. Sir, I'm giving you 175 years, which is 2,100 months. I just signed your death warrant.
A lot of people said that the judge did some grandstanding, and she took that time to get her 15 minutes of fame. She went overboard. She went too far in saying that, you know, that he's not, she wouldn't even bring her dogs to him. You know, that, and you heard what she said. She just signed his death certificate. She gave him, you know, time that once, if by chance he survived his 40 years, then he had to do time to come do more time, you know, 175 years. I mean, and I think maybe she did a little grandstanding, but so freaking what? I mean, for all intents and purpose, you know, he don't have horns growing out his head. He not 8 foot tall. He doesn't have tentacles, but he still is a monster. Let's just call it for what it is. He's a monster, straight up, and no special effects. Ain't no need to sugarcoat this. And I know he got a wife, and I know he got kids. And I would tell, you know, them too, that your husband was a monster. Your father was a monster. To do this over such a long, sustained period of time makes you a super duper predator. You're not just a predator. I mean, you are, you come from another galaxy. You've taken being a predator to a whole nother level. You know what I mean? So I mean, and on the flip side of that, they would have had to get the janitorial staff in there because I would have crapped my pants when she said how many years she gave me. I mean, I would have just fell out like, Jamie Fallard, Jesus have mercy. I just would have fell out because, I mean, like she said, truly, she just signed his death certificate. And it's nothing you could say. This is to your own doing. And even in your letter and some of the smug comments you made, you still feel that, you didn't do anything wrong. You had 100 and some people come through testify and say this to you, and you what? I don't know what the harsh reality of it all kicked in, and you feel like, oh, now you're sorry. And even when she gave you an opportunity, and I didn't play that part. She gave him an opportunity to say, "You are guilty, correct, sir?" And he said, "I said my plea as I said it." Still doesn't want to openly say, "I'm guilty, I did it." Now, a lot of people say that this is going to open up a gate for some type of appeal because the judge did so much grandstanding and brought all these things in and said all these things that she shouldn't have necessarily said to him. But from my understanding of the law, the sentencing phase is the time where the judge can say things. Did she probably go too far? Yeah. But so freaking what? I mean, and? That's one of them true situations where you from the hood, you go, and? He deserves it. He deserves everything he got. I can't imagine sitting over there feeling like somebody just told you they gave you 175 years. Like I said. And I'm putting this out there. I'm saying they should have just took that man to the room. Somebody slid him some rope up under the door and just say, "Larry, do the right thing." I mean, cause you ain't never getting out of prison. All you doing is causing taxpayer money. You going to be there long after everybody who's at that prison, even if they propped your body up and say, okay, we going to encase you and embalm you and just let you be there and let you do the whole 175 years. You would, be there longer than any inmate. You look around, every inmate that you in there with will be gone or out, dead and gone, and your body still be propped up there. But here's the thing. Trevor Noah had a very interesting comment to make, had something very interesting to say about the people who enabled it, the people who knew and still let this go on. So check this out.
They should have a law that if you are found to be an enabler, like they find that you willfully ignored messages or information about something that was being done to somebody, you should get a piece of their sentence, right? Fox News knew, and then they were like, okay, Bill, all right, we'll pay some of them, but not other ones. But it's like, but you kept him. Harvey Weinstein's company, same thing. They're like, we'll keep you, but you pay your own sexual harassment. So you knew. I mean, sort of, you knew. That's why you had it in the contract. If I could go to jail and you could go to jail, everyone could go to jail for enabling other people to do these things, you would be fighting to tell people, you'd be like, hey, someone's doing something. I'm going to the police. I'm going to the police first. I'm going to the police first. Get me to the police. Get me to the police. I don't want 10% of 175 years. What the hell is that?
Now, I happen to think that is a very interesting idea. What if we start making people be culpable for things that they know to be happening, know to be wrong, but they report nothing? That whole see something, say something has to ring true. And I'm not saying that everybody should be punished for everybody else crime that they know. But when you got something this rampant as far as sexual harassment, as far as making people feel like they don't belong, mentally messing people up, giving them scars and emotional scar tissue that's going to last them forever because they feel like no one is caring about them. They feel like they don't have a voice because they're reporting it. They did everything that was told to them to report it. Nothing got done. They did everything that the handbook says do. You report it to a superior and then they will take care of it and the person will get their just due. Nothing happened. This was started out back in 2000, way back in the 90s. Then in 2010, you had people reporting it. Then the FBI got into it. And then the FBI had sent a report to Michigan State saying that, hey, you have a problem here. You need to fix it. And Michigan State's response was, okay, thank you for coming. We'll fix it. All right, bye-bye now. Okay, bye-bye. And they didn't do anything about it. So, and then Mark D'Antonio comes out and says something about it. And his statement, if you read between the lines, if you from any hood, you know that what he said was, I'm not saying what y'all saying is wrong. I'm not saying that nobody didn't do anything. I'm just saying what y'all said my reaction to it was is wrong. So if you want to quote something, quote that. I'm not saying what y'all did, what y'all saying is wrong. I'm just saying how y'all say I reacted to it is wrong. So it's going to be some fallout from this. It's going to be the type of fallout that might change the landscape of college sports in East Lansing, period, Michigan State. You know, it might be the type of thing that might change the way college sports is looked at, period, across the whole nation, to be honest with you, because you cannot have this rampant of a don't ask, don't tell thing going on. This is not like this is petty crime or someone broke into the computer lab, stole a few laptops or computers or stole some software. These are women being sexually assaulted by players. And I'm ashamed to say that predominantly the players that are named in these accusations are predominantly black. But as Decatur May Day brought up to me, it's not because that we got a problem as black people. It's just that it's a football team and a basketball team, which is predominantly at this particular point, if you go into major D1 college, going to be black. Even though I still feel ashamed that all these guys were black. And no, those guys, even though they black, they don't represent me or anything like that. It's just that you feel for the families that have to ask the question about what these boys are doing. And you feel for the families of the girls who got to come in. And because as a father, the worst thing you want to do is know that someone did something to your daughter and you're powerless and helpless to do anything about it. Because damn a legal system, damn the justice system, you ought to, go get you a bat, take him outside and beat the hell out of him. Cause I'm from the old school. We don't want to shoot nobody. We want to physically know that I put these paws on you. I put these hands on you to get the satisfaction from it. Anybody can just stand back and pull a trigger. No, I want to swing these things and let you know, let you feel this pain to let you know what you did wrong. Look me in my eyes and I look at you and you gonna know I'm the guy that's whooping your ass straight up. Because if this was one of my daughters, this is the way I would feel about this thing. This is the way I would want to handle it. I would have to want to put hands on you straight up. So I ain't going to linger on this too long, guys. I just wanted to let you know that this guy, NASA, is just, he's never seen the light of day again. And Trevor Noah just had a really good point saying that if you are found to willfully know that somebody's committing a very bad crime and you do nothing about it, I think you're just as culpable as the person who's doing the crime. Not all the way culpable, but you should share in some of the responsibility. Because I could not live next door to my neighbor knowing that he has, immigrants or children for child sex labor, sex slaves in his basement, and I go, oh, that's just Chuck being Chuck. I peep in the basement. All right, hum, and move on. No, if they found out that I knew, I should be held a little culpable for that, because that's wrong. What if those were your kids? Somebody gave birth to these people. We got to start, put these cameras down. Stop recording everything that you see, because we're not helping people anymore. We'll watch people drown and videotape it instead of help them. We'll watch people being burned in cars, accidents, watch people get shot, won't even run now. But you was bold enough to stand there and watch somebody shoot somebody instead of saying, try to de-escalate the situation, try to get somebody out of that situation, So, I don't know, man. I just figured that we're getting to a point in this country where I don't even know what we stand for anymore. I don't care what color you're, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Russian, Vietnamese. I just think we all need to pull together, because it's getting to the point where we don't value anybody or anything anymore. I mean, it's getting to the point where the kids don't even go outside and play anymore. Is that the country that we really Is that what we left for our kids? We was a generation of outdoor kids. Now our kids don't go outdoors because we have constantly put in their mind that something's going to happen to them. And we wonder why childhood obesity and all these things are off the scales, because we have created a country where we have turned so fearful, so sensitive, so bitchy that it's amazing what we have become. Land of the free, home of the brave. Somebody need to put after that one, comma, yeah, right. All right, guys. I ain't got but one other thing to say about Larry Nassar, and that is...
Get out there! Get out there! Right. I don't need to deliberate. Hang that nigga now! I got the rope right here!
All right, guys. We're going to end the show with this black 15-year-old kid talking to Jay-Z. Jay-Z had some words for Donald Trump the other day, and Jay-Z said Donald Trump don't care about black people, and... This is a black 15-year-old kid that's coming to Donald Trump's defense, saying that, Jay-Z don't even care about black people. How can he say that Trump don't care about black people when the unemployment rate has done gone up under Trump's watch? So listen to what this kid have to say. Then I'll have something to say after that, and then we'll close the show out, guys.
Hey guys, I'm CJ Pearson. Yesterday in an interview on CNN, Jay-Z threw a little bit of shade at President Trump, saying that he hasn't done much for black people, that he's misinformed and so forth and so on, dismissing the record low black unemployment rate that happened under this president, President Donald J. Trump. Jay-Z, you don't care about black people. Let's stop the charade, let's stop the pretending, and let's be honest here. You do not care about black people, because those jobs mean a lot. They may not mean a lot to you because of your high net worth and your amazing rap career that you've had, but to average Americans, average people of color across this nation, those jobs mean a lot. You don't care about that, Jay-Z. You don't speak for me. You don't speak for black people. Let me make that clear. This president has gone a long way into not doing things just for the sake of doing them for one color or whatnot. This man cares about every person, of every hue, of every shade in this country, and that is why I support him. That is why many millions of Americans support this man. And so, Jay-Z, you are ignorant, you are misinformed, and you should stick to your day job.
Lord, somebody done tell me where they done found Carlton Jr. at. Oh, God. I mean, this little dude swear he up on things and swear he know what's going on. But, dude, at 15, you don't even know the half of the half, dude, but you swear you're a Donald J. Trump lover. I'm just saying I give Trump a little respect because he's the president of the United States, but come on, kid. You got to realize he was in office a year, and some of the policies that Obama put in place were still kicking in and still going strong. He had nothing to do with affecting the overall unemployment rate for the simple reason that, he spent most of his time trying to keep people out the country and trying to kick people out of the country. But once again, Second Amendment rights, he has the right to say what he feel about what's going on about Donald Trump and about Jay-Z, So Donald Trump came to his own defense and tweeted out something back at Jay-Z. So I guess they're going tit for tat back and forth, But like D.L. Hughley say, it's amazing that you go back and say something about Jay-Z, but you didn't say a word about Eminem. And I ain't trying to make this a race thing. I'm just trying to say that under the skin of it all, it might be a race thing. I'm not trying to make it one. But, Lil Carlton made his point. I forgot what he said his name is. But from this particular point forward, kid, every time I see you, you're going to be Lil Carlton, You might as well get up and just do the Carlton dance and, everyone wants to be loved. It's unusual. You might as well get up and do that because you sound just like him. I guarantee you own a closet full of sweater vests. I'm just assuming, No, I'm just kidding. But not really though. you're that type of kid, you know. But what do you really know about the politics and what Jay-Z care about black people, kid? You know what I mean? He doing what he has to do for him and his family and for his career. I promise you this. He got way more caring for the black people than Trump do. If you truly feel at 15 Trump cares for you as a black kid, dude, someone has really educated you completely wrong or given you knowledge completely wrong, because once he had sympathy and sympathized for the people up in Virginia, the white supremacists, and saying that they won't go away and they won't be forgotten and things of that nature, and you still coming out months after that has happened and you siding for Donald Trump, then kid, you got a cloudy vision of what's really going on, you know. And I don't want to personally attack no kid, I mean, because he got the right to feel how he want to feel. But I wish I could really sit down and talk to you and ask you the question: do you really feel that Trump cares about you? And then to go as so far to tell Jay-Z that he's ignorant, you know, and to stick to his day job. I mean, just because someone says someone don't care, that doesn't make him ignorant, even though I've said my couple things about you. I just think that if you love Trump so much, why don't you go to the White House and see what type of reception you get when you just say, hey, I'm a black person, I just want to get in to see Trump. This man is purposely on tape not shaking people of color hands. 12 people walk by, white people, shake their hand. Hey, how you doing? Hey, great to see you. Good. As soon as the one black person walked by, he put his hand back down, decided and skipped him. But this is the person you saying millions of people love that's black just like you? You saying Jay-Z don't speak for you? No, he don't speak for me either. But I'm just trying to tell you that Trump shouldn't be speaking for you either. That's all I got to say about that. All right, guys, don't forget, if you definitely like what you're hearing from the Random Select podcast right here on Beat Break 87, go ahead and share and let somebody know that we're out here. And like I said, you can catch the shows on demand. Download the Beat Break mobile app. Go ahead and go to beatbreakradiofm.com, and you'll find links up there as far as getting to the different places where you can find the show. Click that listen now. It'll take you to a streaming where you can get it. You can have the TuneIn app, iHeartRadio speaker, all of those good things, people. So don't forget, we're out here. All right, guys, we're up against the break. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me in the Random Select podcast. It's the podcast that's all about thought-provoking talk. I am your host, Mario, and we're right here on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where talk and music radio lives. And that's it, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
This is Atlanta's new underground station.
How you doing? This is Wood Harris.
Hi, this is Jasmine Guy.
What's going on in Atlanta? This is Clifton Powell.
Hey guys, it's Niecy Nash from TV Land's The Soul Man. This is Cat Williams.
Check this out. This is your boy RL from NEXT.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Lunel.
What's up, ATL? It's your girl Ken of Atlantic Records.
Hi, I'm Taraji P. Henson.
WBS 87 Atlanta, WAEN FM Atlanta, WBHH, and on iHeartRadio, home of the Beat Break Morning Show with Sean Garvey, DJ Rollum, and the Wake Up Ladies. Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives. Streaming online at BeatBreakRadioFM.com. Download the TuneIn app to hear Beat Break 87 FM on your mobile device and listen to the Beat Break Morning Show. Weekday mornings only on Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
What's up, ATL? Make sure that you check out the D Here Radio Show on Beat Break 87 and BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
Hey world, it's your man Precise, and I have great news. The Precise Music app is finally available for your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry through Amazon and other app stores. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z. Go get it for all things Precise. Powered by BlackVibes.com. I tried to put it off, but I can't. It's on me. Tried to blame the other man, but I can't. It's on me. Stay in tune. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z.
We specialize in creating mobile apps for the entertainment industry. Go to bvmobileapps.com, click Get Started Now, create your account, choose your package, upload your content, and click Submit. BV Mobile Apps. Make it easy. Make it mobile.
Listen to Beat Break 87 FM on the go. Download the Beat Break 87 FM app from the app marketplace, including Amazon, Google Play, and the App Store. View photos, videos, and Beat Break 87 shows on your mobile device. Download the Beat Break 87 FM app now for free.
He has performed on stage in front of thousands of poetry lovers. He has sold out shows and rocked the crowd with the best poets in the industry. Welcome to the stage, spoken word artist, Patrick Duncan, better known as the Preacher Man.
I am Benjamin T. Montgomery. I invented a boat propeller. I am the former president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela!
Critically acclaimed spoken word artist, poet, writer, and the creator of Black on Purpose poetry TV series Wordplay. Patrick the Preacher Man Duncan is coming to a venue near you.
Why is the only time we can come together as a nation is when there are acts of insanity, chaos, or devastation.
Stay tuned to Beat Break 87 FM for updates on Patrick Duncan's upcoming arrival to your city. Visit cdbaby.com/CD/Patrick S. Duncan to order his latest album, What's Going On. Available online, including CD Baby and iTunes.
I want this high and have no affiliation to a political party. I want this high to be spiritual.
For more info, go to BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
Wake up weekday mornings to the Beat Break Morning Show and nod your head in bed to the 360 Mix Show. Weeknights on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.